Let's look at SOLIDWORKS Enterprise PDM. To highlight the benefit of Enterprise PDM, we're going to use this simple data set. We're going to add components to it and modify some other parts. So the goals here are to create a new drawing, to get a new version of some parts, to get a new BOM, and also to export this BOM for other systems to consume the information. We're also going to use this simple workflow. So files will start their life in the work in process state. We're going to use a transition called submit for approval to send it to the state called pending approval. At this point, a manager is going to log in and will review the design and will have the possibility of rejecting the changes or approving it. When the manager approves it, a PDF is automatically generated by Enterprise PDM, and the XML document is also exported automatically. So the packaging of Enterprise PDM is all inclusive. So the licenses are floating and concurrent. This means that a set of tokens are defined at the server, and when users are connecting to the vault, they use a token. When the maximum number of tokens are reached, the users are denied access to the vault. Any user can terminate access and provide a token to the other user. It's all floating, there's no additional cost, it's built in. CAD integration in SOLIDWORKS, AutoCAD, and Inventor are included. So this means that you have a specific interface in the CAD system to access the vault. So you don't have to leave the application to do transaction in the vault. Every Enterprise PDM users benefit from eDrawing Professional to do markups, to measure documents, and also have access to the full bill of material of every document in the vault. You can even modify those bill of material. You can request approval on those bill of material. You can approve those bill of material directly in Enterprise PDM. If you have multiple sites to connect and exchange information, you don't have to buy additional licenses. It's all included. Unlimited number of sites can be replicated. You have no limit in the workflow. You can build as many workflows as you want. You can build as many states and transition in the workflow. There's no limit. Your PDM system must support your current Windows platform. Modern computers now come by default with Windows 7 64-bit. So Enterprise PDM is a native 64-bit application that works in Windows 7. When you buy Enterprise PDM, you get Microsoft SQL Server Standard Edition. It's all included. It's supported and maintained by SOLIDWORKS. So at SOLIDWORKS, we have this concept of a leaky pipe. So we know that your process could have some leaks in it, and those leaks will reduce the amount of benefit that you get at the end of your process. So as an example, Enterprise PDM will help you to minimize the leaks in lost files or files that have to be recreated because they cannot be found. You can have multiple users working on the same project and they overwrite each other's file. So Enterprise PDM will help you to minimize the leaks in every step of your process. So Enterprise PDM is really at the center of the process. When you design a part in SOLIDWORKS, you benefit from the vault. When you use simulation, you benefit from the vault. And all other aspects of the process are managed in the Enterprise PDM vault. Great. So let's use SOLIDWORKS now just to understand how we start from scratch with a brand new document. So I'm going to create a file here, and we see that our document templates are stored in the vault. So this means that they are going to be distributed. The latest version will be distributed to every user. You don't have to copy those files. You don't have to send those templates by email to make sure that everyone in the company is using the proper templates. So when I use a template, it's asking me where do I want to put the file in the vault. So I'm going to put it at the top of the vault, which is called Quick Start. So the first thing we see here is that Enterprise PDM is showing us a data card. A data card is a way to capture metadata information, or in other words, properties. So we can capture those properties right at the beginning of the process, so we increase the chances for people to capture potential errors. So here I'm going to type in here the description of my part, and I can potentially pick the vendor that will supply this part. We can say, well, I'm not going to purchase it, I'm going to build it. So by doing the activating this field, we can see here that the vendor becomes grayed out. Okay, so I'm going to create my part, throw in some very basic geometry here. And my goal here is just to illustrate how a person goes through the motion of creating a part and saving their work while designing the part. So right away I'm going to check in this in the vault. Check in means publish the document in the vault so other people can see our progress. I can maintain control over this file if I'm not done designing it, so I'm going to keep it checked out. So we're going to say this is a plate. So since I kept it checked out, the file is read and write access, so I can continue to work on it. Make it a bit bigger. Let's expand it just a bit here. Great. So now I'm going to check it again, and this is a block. Oops, let's type in block properly here. Keep checked out. Now I'm going to convert this to sheet metal. Selecting this face and adding a bend in all three sides here. Great, nice part. Now I'm going to check it in again. I'm done working with it, so I'm going to release ownership. Okay, so the part is called 3234. I can use the get here to get the previous version of this part. So a plate. The file comes back as a plate, and it's still called 3234. So the vault is keeping all those versions and allow me to get back to it at any time in the process. And you can even do this in the context of an assembly. So imagine you're designing one part and you're not sure if you're going in the right direction. Well, you can retrieve the previous version of the part by simply using the get. Okay, great. I'm going to access the vault using the Windows E key to get Windows Explorer, and my vault is attached to a folder called Quick Start. So I can navigate into this folder, and when we navigate in the vault, we have access to 6 tabs here. And one of the tabs is a preview, so I can see that I get access to my full part here. I can even measure the thickness of this part. I can also use the get to get the previous version. Same way I did it in SOLIDWORKS, I get access to the part. And now the system is telling me that I'm not using the latest version. I can go ahead and say, okay, give me the latest version. So the file is actually being replaced from the server into my local cache to show me the latest version. Okay, let's look at the folder structure here. We have a bunch of folders here because this is Windows Explorer, and we've decided to define our vault into projects, and every project has 3 folders. So I can go ahead and create a new folder manually and say new folder. I already had one, so it's called new folder 2, and I want to launch a new project. I might have the reflex of naming my project 2012, but what if I have multiple users launching a new project at the same time and both users are asking for 2012? We're going to have a conflict here. So why not use the system to provide the project name? So this gives us also the benefit of offering an interface for the user to define the new project. So here I've listed typical project that a company could do. Let's say we're doing a filling machine. Well, this is all the types of filling machines that we are building. Let's say it's not a filling machine but a capping machine. have a different list. So in our case here, we're going to pick control box and define new project for 20 volt. We can even list here customer names. Great. So new project, we get 2012. And we also got the 3 folders automatically created by default. If we look at this project, there's also a Word document here that was automatically created here. And we have the data card that contains information, a unique number on it, and our project specification. So typing a simple description, saving the data card. Now, what if I open the Word document? Well, the data card is actually pushing information in the document because the document is using document properties that are linked to the data card, and that's how the Word document gets the properties. I can also change the properties inside Word. So let's change here the, say, the new control box. And let's make sure we update the field. Now we get the new property in the document. Saving the Word document and going back to the vault will show us the updated data card. So it goes in both directions. I can change the data card, update the document, or change the document, and it will update the data card. Okay, so we've seen so far that we can create new files from scratch and save those files directly in the vault. We can launch a new project using the template wizard, get documents in the vault. But what if I get a set of files for my project and I want to put it in the vault? How do I achieve this? Well, simple as opening the recipient or the folder that has the files in it, and open the recipient folder in the vault, select those files, and drag and drop those files in the vault, copying it. It's Windows Explorer. That's simple. So we see here that we've copied text files, DWG files, JPEG, PDFs, zip files. And if we look at those files directly here in the vault, we see the data cards with all the information provided from the project. We get previews, get a DWG file here. We also get a preview. It's actually a 3D part in DWG, and eDrawings is showing us this 3D part. We can have a drawing. We can zoom in and look at the information. And we see here that the drawing has information in the drawing template, and the data card also has this information. I can even change the information here in the data card. And it's actually updating the drawing. Okay, what if I check in this Word document? We see now that Enterprise PDM is aware that the Word document has a relationship with the Excel document. That's because I inserted the Excel document as an object in the Word document. And Enterprise PDM is aware of the relationship between the two documents. So now when I check in one document, the other one is also checked in. If I go to the Contains tab, I see the relationship. If I go to the Excel document and use the Where Use, I can even see the relationship. If I check out the Word document, it's going to tell me, well, if you change the Word document, do you also want to take ownership of the Excel document? Those relationships are automatically built on documents that Enterprise PDM knows how to build relationship. So we see here that we have a text file. So I'm going to copy this text file and go on the DWG file here and paste as reference. So actually going to create a relationship between the DWG file and the text file. So we can create references between documents manually. So again, I check in this one and I see the relationship. If I want to modify the text file, I can simply go to the Where Used and I get the relationship. Okay, so let's go ahead and select all those files and do a check-in. Now we see that we have a warning. Well, PDM knows how how to extract relationship between documents. And if it's missing a document, it's going to tell us that it's missing this document. So really, this is a tool to help you capture problems at the beginning of the process. Remember the leaky pipe? So we're now capturing the problem. The first leak that we have here, our project, is that the supplier forgot to send us one part. So the drawing will probably have empty views. So if we don't capture this with a proper tool, probably not going to be aware of it, and we're going to be missing parts at the end of the process. It's going to make our project late because we're going to wait for getting those parts fixed. So Enterprise PDM is helping you right at the beginning of the process to minimize errors. Great, so we have a bunch of files here. We already have a workflow managing those. And I've decided here to configure my vault that when a PDF is put in the vault, it goes directly to the published format state. Okay, so our job now is to create a new version of the control box. We know that we already have a control box in our system, but we don't know exactly where it's located. So we're going to use a search to say, okay, I'm looking for the control box. So I don't know exactly if the name, exactly the name of the file. So I'm going to look at every file that contains the word control in it. So the vault is searching here. I got 82 files here that were returned. Let's be more specific here, and I'm simply going to look for drawings and assemblies. Now we have 17 files. It took 0.2 seconds to return this, very, very quick. I can go ahead and use a preview to select the drawings or the files that I'm looking for. Okay, so we have the control box right here. We can confirm with the preview here, and we see here that this version of the drawing is released. We already have here the electronic signature, and we have a version on it here, revision A. So we already have this this project done. So we're going to reuse this. But it might be difficult to find all the parts related to this drawing. So we're going to use a PDM tool here called Copy Tree. So this is very similar to the pack and go that we can find in SolidWorks. So by selecting the drawing, it's bringing us the list of all the references that this drawing relates to. And like the roughing text file that we used, we created relationship here for the brochure and some Excel files. So using copy tree gives us the list of all the references of those files. I can even say, okay, I want to also have the drawings. So every document that has a drawing will also be included. Now we have an issue that the control box drawing here already exists in the vault. And if I copy this into my new project, I will now have multiple documents with the same name. So this could be difficult to manage, multiple files with the same name but don't represent the same final product. So here we can say to PDM, please rename my files using my serial number generator here. So we're not going to rename those two types of file, but all the other files use the serial number generator. So now we have unique file names. The other issue we're facing now is let's look at this door. The part is 3244, but the drawing will have a different number. So why not ask the system to name the drawings and the part the same? So now the door 3244, the drawing will also be named 3244. That's great. Okay, so let's copy those files. So let's go back into our project, and now we see all the files with their new name. So I'm not really sure which drawing is the drawing for my final assembly. Well, we can see here that Windows Explorer is showing us more columns here. So it's showing us metadata information that are stored in a data card. So why not take this description, put it right at the beginning here. So now control box assembly drawing, this is it. So I look at the preview. So using the description can help me select the proper document, even if they are with names that I don't really relate to. Great, let's look at the watermark now. The watermark says reference only. I lost the electronic signature on it, and I don't have any revision because it's a new document. Great, let's open this drawing here, double click on it, and the Windows program associated to this file type is opened, and the document is open in the application. Great, got my drawing. We don't have any BOM here, so let's just add a BOM to this drawing. We're going to make sure we have the numbering and also get the detailed cut list here because we have some weldment. Great, let's put the BOM there, and we see here that we have 24 components in there. Great, so let's check in this drawing here. So inside SolidWorks and any supported CAD application, we have the add-in here that gives us access to functions in the vault. So here I can select the top drawing here and do my check-in. So now I see the list of all the files, and we can see here that it's showing us that this Excel file was not copied properly and it's not in the vault. So I'm aware that I'm missing this, so I want to fix this problem. So again, leaky pipe, we get chance to fix problems as they are discovered. I'm going to check in all those documents. I'm getting a new version, obviously, of those documents, but I'm going to keep ownership of the top assembly and the top drawing. Very nice here that we see that we have a hierarchy of our files. So it's not difficult for me to realize which drawing and which assembly is actually the top assembly. So having the hierarchy here really helps us to understand. Okay, so type in here metadata information for my audit trail. Okay, so I'm going to open the assembly here and work to add a switch. My job is to add the emergency switch here. Where is it? Well, I have PDM, so let's benefit from the search here. So I'm simply going to expand and get the search here and say a quick start, a quick search again, and the search card is displayed here. By the way, this card here can be fully customized to offer all the fields that you want your user to use to search documents. So I'm looking for a switch. So let's type in SWIT and hit enter. So 0.2 seconds, I got 22 files. Got a bunch of switches here. I got the door. That's probably a switch attached to it. Got the electrical cabinet here. I got the power switch. So there's a lot of files here. So let's I'm looking for a panic switch. So I'm simply going to type in PANI here. SWIT PANI. I get the emergency stop. Why was I able to find this part and it's the proper file that I want? Well, I use the search document body, and inside the document there's a description called panic switch. Enterprise PDM was able to find this part based on the document body, and I don't even have to type in the full name. The search result is a lot more than just an HTML report. it gives me full access to the file. I can drag and drop this file from the search and put it directly in my assembly. I can even select which configuration I want. I'm going to use a long neck. Great. Continue using the search. I want to add a part here. I don't really know the name of this component. If I look at the feature, it's called 3-pin power receptacle. So let's use the SOLIDWORKS functionality here. It's just go to the feature and grab the name here using Windows function F2 and go back to the search here and looking for the 3-pin power receptacle. And I've got 5 files. So I got my new enclosure here because remember, this is the name of the feature. So I was able to find this part based on its feature name. Power connector, yes, that's the one. So again, I'm going to drag and drop, and there's a smart mate here that will attach to the hole directly here, and using regular SOLIDWORKS functionality here to get the smart mate. That's great. Okay, so we have our switch here, and when I move it around, we see we don't have any holes to secure this. So this part was built using a smart component or smart feature. So I'm simply going to activate this function for SOLIDWORKS. And now it says, hey, this part is not checked out. So if you change it, you're going to have to check it out first to save your change. That's good. Now the function here is asking me where to locate the hole for this switch. So I'm going to locate it at the front of the door here. That's great. So now it's telling me that the assembly 1317 has been modified and it's not checked out. So Enterprise PDM is capturing this information and showing me that those parts will need to be checked out. And it's also showing us the pencil here to show me that it's been modified. But what's the impact of changing this door? I'm not really sure if this door is used into a different project. So if I change this door, I might impact other assemblies. So I'm from within SOLIDWORKS here, simply going to use or select the door and use the where use function here to simply ask PDM to show me all the files that are using this door. So I see the full hierarchy. So the door is used in 1317. 1317 is used in 1316, and there's also a drawing associated to it. And I can see the path here, and luckily here in my case, they're all in the same project. So I can go ahead and change it. And I know that I need to update the drawing because I've changed the door. So why not double click on this drawing? And it's going to open the drawing that relates to the door. Oh, the door was used in a simulation analysis. So it's showing me that the results are so attached to this part. So PDM is aware of a relationship between results files, and parts. So in my case here, I'm simply going to check out the door and its drawing. So checkout means take ownership. So I was able to update this drawing. That's good. I can also open the door itself to make sure that the file is changed, so I can save it. Simply saving it local to update the graphic. Great. So now we see the icons that are showing us that the part was modified. So the local copy here is newer than the vault. The assembly here was modified, and we see that we don't have it checked out. So that's the warning that we saw previously. So I'm going to go ahead and check out this subassembly. It's telling us that those parts are already checked out. I'm going to check out this one here. That's great. So I took ownership of this subassembly and I did not lose my changes, so we can see that the parts that I added to it are still in. Okay, so let's close the assembly and go back to our drawing. We can save all those documents, no problem. So now we see a new BOM with our new components. We can add the missing annotation here. Great. So I'm going to check in the drawing. Enterprise EPDM is now informing us that the documents that were changed will get a new version, and the documents that were not changed will remain in the same version. So our top drawing, top assembly will get a new version, and all those parts will get a new version. So Enterprise EPDM is taking a snapshot of all the versions of all the components to allow us to go back in time and get the baseline of all the parts when they were in version 1, version 2, and so on. Great. Now I want to have the manager approve this because I need the signature here to continue the process. So without leaving SOLIDWORKS, I'm going to use the workflow to submit for approval. So we see here the state of all those documents. Some documents say file in the wrong state because those are parts in my library. So my assembly reconnected to existing files in the library, and those files are in a different workflow state. So it's not acceptable to request approval. So I'm going to ask the review on the top drawing and the top assembly. We know that the workflow is built to send email notification to the proper people for them to review my drawing. I also have access to on-demand notification here. I can say, well, I want to send notification for this drawing only to Paul and Patrick. I want them to review this. Great. So without leaving SOLIDWORKS, I can see the status of every document here, pending approval, and I can see all the other documents here are in different states. Great. I'm done doing my work as a designer. So now I'm going to change personality and become a manager. So I'm going to log off as a designer. As soon as I log off, I lose access to the vault. As you can see here, my Windows Explorer menu or window came back to the desktop. So I'm going to go back in the vault as my manager. And now the manager has notifications. So there was some drawings that changed state. So we see that we have the assembly and the drawing change state, and we can see the full audit here on what happened to this document. We can even print this audit trail for reports. What if I have several messages and I close the window? I'm now not aware of all the documents that I need to approve. Well, I can save search favorite. Here, simply say, show me all the files that are pending approval. So the system is now searching the entire vault with all the files that are in the workflow state pending approval. So saving a favorite saves you the work of all turning the knobs and putting the check marks in the search card. So the search result here is showing me the tabs. So let's look at this drawing. And I can look at this drawing directly from the search result. I can measure location of components. I can look at the drawing, can look at the BOM. But really, I'm interested in looking at the BOM here. So I don't want to do a manual compare. So I'm going to go to the Bill of Material tab and see all the components here in the list of BOM. List the component in my BOM. I can have multiple layouts of BOM here. Okay. I can even benefit from the BOM that is on the drawing itself. So now we have power connector, emergency stop. But really, what are the difference between the two versions? I have multiple versions here. So I'm going to use the compare tool to say, okay, I want to see the difference between the last version and when we started to work with the files from the project 2010. So compare BOM is showing me that those two components were added. Great, that was the task that our user was given. So that's great. He did the job. Let's approve this. So using the in context menu, I can change state, and now I don't see request for approval. I see approve and reject because the file is in a different state. So I'm going to approve this. So now we see that those files are in different state because they were not submitted for approval. They are still in work in process. So I'm going to approve this. Now we see that the system is actually asking us again for our password. So very nice feature here to make sure that we don't have approvals of drawings made by people that are not really the person using the account. So if someone walks into the manager's office and use the manager's mouse to approve their own design, well, they'll be stopped here because they don't know the manager's password. So this is called double challenge. Great. So our drawing is now approved, and the system is built to also create intermediate files. In our case here, we're going to use a PDF. So the system is actually built to look on the network and find a workstation that is capable of launching SOLIDWORKS and using PDF. So we can see at the bottom of the screen we have two sessions of SOLIDWORKS. My existing one that I used previously, and the one that the Vault is using to create PDFs. And also we see that our drawing is now released, and we also have the electronic signature here that was created automatically by the approval process, and we also have our revision here on the drawing that was done directly, and we don't have any document left to approve. We've got nice notification here, so it's telling me that the PDF was created with the version 5 of the document. I already had a PDF with this, so it's going to create a new version of the PDF. Great, so now we can see all the documents that are in a publish or release state. We can see our PDF here, all the information that was created automatically. One other aspect I want to cover here is the bill of material. We looked at the compare. We now see a list of all the components that represent the bill of material at the approved version. We can take a bill of material that was provided by the drawing, and we can see here we have very long description, and maybe we want to add more components that are not directly created in the CAD model. So here we can save this BOM into SW BOM, or we also call it a named BOM. So we're actually creating a new object in PDM that is actually a BOM. So now we see the BOM, so we can navigate the Vault using or to see files, and we can also navigate the Vault to see BOM. So now we can go ahead and modify some description. We can go ahead and create new components. So I'm going to create a child here, and let's say I want to add some tape here. So I can say tape and I need 0.25 roll. So we can have multiple units here. Doesn't have to represent an integer. So I can save this BOM. And again, I can compare this BOM the same way as I did previously. I can check in this BOM. So we see work in process. I can also use the workflow to submit this for approval. Since I'm already logged in as the manager now, I'm going to approve this BOM directly here. Approve. So again, I'm going to type in my password. So now this BOM is released. So we actually took an existing BOM that came from the drawing, we did some modification, added components to it, and sent it to the formal process to get approval. We approved it. And we see here in our export folder, we also have our BOM that was exported. So the BOM that we created using the name BOM, we have all the information exported here in XML. So we see our tape here. So another system can read this XML to create all the components needed to define the objects in the database. So on the administration side of Enterprise PDM, we have the administration tool here that allows us to modify or configure the vault. So the search card that we use, the data cards, can be modified here using the card editor. We can define new fields, we can add, remove objects here, and it's very simple as drag and drop. The workflow here can be managed directly here using the administration tool, and this is the workflow that we used. I can easily add new states. So as an example here, obsolete, and I can use a transition to connect two states together. We can define the access rights by groups, by users. Say when my document will be obsolete, everyone will have access read-only. And who's allowed to retire a part? Well, only the managers. So in summary, Enterprise PDM is integrated in Windows Explorer. It makes it very easy to learn and very easy to use. It offers very powerful search. We can reuse our knowledge, reuse our documents by using the search to find it based on the document contained. Enterprise PDM is very easy to implement. We have this quick start implementation plan that can be deployed in very short time. So if you need a more detailed demonstration, please contact your reseller. Thank you.